So wasting zero time, I am starting off by putting 2 dots on either side of my nose because I want to map out where I want the top of the cheekbones and I guess more so the eye socket, I can call it, to be shaped. So I'm drawing a curved line that really follows the shape of my eye from that dot that I made on my nose all the way to the end of my face, and I'm doing that on both sides just to map out where I want the top of the half skull to end. And once I have that mapped out, I am going to start to map out the nose. So I'm putting a dot right in the center so I know where I want it to end. It's okay if it's not the neatest thing in the world because I actually go in and change the nose up a little bit anyway. But now I am filling in everything underneath the line that I just made, and I'm dragging all of that face paint down to the bottom of my chin. And I will say, if you're going to do this, do not do what I did and use liquid. Use a cream instead. It'll lay a lot smoother, and I feel like you don't waste as much product. But like I said, you just want to make sure that you fill in from the top of the line that you created all the way down to the end of your jawline, and do that on both sides of your face so you can get a good base going. So now I'm taking a nice thin detailer brush and I am creating a little bit of depth underneath my eyes, and I'm making that line as thin as possible on either end, and it is okay if it is a little bit thicker in the middle, and that is actually what you want. But sometimes it's a little bit harder to get it thin on the end and thick in the middle, but just try your best. And for the nose, I didn't know exactly what shape I was going for, and I started off one way that was a little bit thinner, and then I ended up doing something that was more appropriate for the width of my nose, which I still was like, I could do better, but it worked for me. So honestly, for the nose, whatever works for you is fine. By the time the finished look is finished, it's gonna look completely fine. So now onto the teeth. I would say that this is the most tedious part. So what you want to do is you want to draw a line from the corners of your mouth and directing up to your eardrum. And for the teeth, to start off, you're literally just going to draw straight lines down. I like to start in the middle just because it gives me a good reference point, and I'm taking those straight lines all the way down until I get to the end of the lines that I created. And to create some depth inside of your actual mouth, you want to take a black liquid lipstick or black paint and just go right on the inner corners of your mouth. So for the jaw sockets, I don't even know if that is the right terminology. That probably sounds so uneducated, but for lack of a better term, for the jaw sockets, I'm actually going to go from my eardrum and kind of curve that line as best as possible to resemble the shape of a jaw or an open mouth. And I'm going to do that on either side. So to fill the jaw in, I am using black paint, and I am filling in all the way down to the bottom of the jawline that I created. I'm not going to take it all the way in just yet because I want to work on the teeth. Then we end up coming back to the jaw to shade it in. So in order to start making the teeth seem as teeth-like as possible, you want to take any kind of eyeshadow brush or shading brush, one that's not going to make color too dense, and you want to draw upside down gradient triangles on each line that you created for your teeth, and that way it'll start to take on more of a root shape at the top of those triangles that you're creating. So to make the roots look even more gradient, I'm going in with a mixture of black and brown eyeshadow before we start to form the shape of the base of the tooth. So to form more of a circular base to the tooth, I am actually taking a black cream eyeliner on a fine brush, and I'm just curving the edge in between each of the lines. I'm resembling, this is so hard to explain, oh my gosh, I'm trying to resemble a half circle as much as possible, so you can see that I'm taking it from the center of where the teeth connect, and I'm connecting that to the lines that we drew initially. I hope that that explanation does it justice. If not, you can just see what I'm doing. And now I'm just working on making the jaw sockets just a little bit more gradient. I decided to fill them in a bit more, and this is another time where I really wish that I would have used cream, just because liquid can be so thick sometimes because you have to keep layering it on, but I feel like cream would have given me more of the gradient effect that I was looking for. So I start off with, I just dropped something, sorry if you guys heard that, but I'm starting off with the liquid, of course, and then I'm going in with black eyeshadow. And when you do this, you definitely want to use a light hand so you get more of that faded and gradient effect. But I'm taking the black eyeshadow, going along the edges of the paint, running along the edges of the lines that we created, and really just fading it up to make it as gradient as I possibly can. And now to give a little bit more depth, we're going under that line that we created on the under eye socket. I'm starting off with black paint, or actually I believe that I used black eyeliner just to make the gradients look a little bit more gradient. But I'm going in with a black eyeshadow just to fade that out as much as possible. And like we did underneath the eye, you want the edge of the line to be as thin as possible, with the thickness focusing more so in the middle. And And now I'm just touching up a little bit of the white in the teeth and a little bit of white in the black just to make it just a tad more gradient. And we think that this is the final look, but stay tuned. I added a small detail. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this Halloween makeup tutorial. If you would like to see more Halloween looks, I know we are crunching down on time, but be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comment section some other Halloween looks that you would like to see. And of course, do not forget to subscribe on your way out. Your support means so much to me. Thank you all so much.